P.T. Barnum, The Greatest Showman. So most of you probably know who Barnum is from the circus, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, Greatest Show on Earth. A movie actually just came out last year about him. Full disclosure, I never watched it, so I don't actually know what it does and doesn't cover. But what I'm going to cover today isn't really about Barnum, though. No, this is going to be all about his distant relative, friend, and one-time employee, Charles Sherwood Stratton. Also known as General Tom Thumb, Stratton is perhaps the most famous dwarf that ever lived. Born in Bridgeport, Connecticut on January 4th, 1838, Stratton was actually a fairly large baby, weighing 9 pounds 8 ounces. For the first 6 months, he grew at a fairly normal pace, by then weighing around 15 pounds and being 25 inches tall. At that point, however, he just stopped. By his first birthday, he remained 25 inches tall, and by his fourth birthday, he'd only grown 1 more inch. Other than stature, he was a totally normal, healthy child. Barnum was a distant relative of Stratton, 5th cousin, twice removed. He ended up choosing to adopt Stratton and taught him how to sing, dance, mime, and do impersonations. Stratton made his first American tour at the age of 5, where he was advertised as 11. He showcased a variety of these talents. His routines included impersonating Napoleon Bonaparte, singing, dancing, and comedy bits where another performer acted as a straight man next to him. The tour was actually such a success, it was expanded. The next year, Barnum took Stratton on a European tour. He appeared twice before Queen Victoria and even met the Prince of Wales, who later went on to become King Edward VII. He performed to rave reviews at
Théâtre du Vaudeville,
now
Gaumont Opéra,
in Paris. After the 3-year-long tour, he returned to the United States where his stardom skyrocketed. His fame and popularity surpassed that of any other actor in his lifetime. This might be a little hard to explain, but I really can't emphasize enough just how important Stratton was to the history of American entertainment, especially if you've never heard of him. Prior to Stratton, freak show entertainment, or human curiosities, was seen as both dishonorable and an unpleasing carnival attraction. Stratton changed that. He was lively, personable, entertaining, and crowds just ate it up. It turned this form of entertainment into a theatrical staple in the United States from the 19th century into the early 20th century. While Barnum sought to market Stratton's small size, the performances that he put on were designed to showcase just how talented a performer Stratton truly was. From the age of 7, he performed in grand, full-length melodramas where he was often cast in the lead role. Many of the critics at the time did not compare Stratton's skills and performances to other variety shows, but instead judged his performances on his merits as an entertainer, period. When he was married at 25 to Lavinia Warren, it became front-page news across the country. The wedding took place at Grace Episcopal Church, with the reception at NYC's Metropolitan Hotel. Atop a grand piano, the couple greeted their approximately 10,000 guests. Following the wedding, they were received at the White House by President Abraham Lincoln. They later toured Europe together, as well as British India, mainly in what would later become Bangladesh. Though Barnum was and is criticized for his exploitation of people in this medium, unlike most managers before and after him, he actually did pay his performers very well. His bigger acts made the equivalent of what some sports stars make today. Stratton became a very wealthy man under the management of Barnum. He owned a house in a very wealthy neighborhood in New York, a steam yacht, and a specially adapted home in the Thimble Islands, off the coast of Branford, Connecticut, where I grew up. The street I actually grew up on was even named after Charles Stratton. When Barnum was in financial difficulty, Stratton bailed him out. Later, they even became business partners. Stratton retired from performing in 1878, making his final performance in England. Stratton died unexpectedly of a stroke at the age of 45 in 1883. Over 20,000 people attended his funeral in Mountain Grove Cemetery in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Barnum purchased a life-sized statue of Stratton to be used as a gravestone. His wife Lavinia died more than 35 years later and was interred next to him, with a simple nameplate saying simply, his wife.